These are smart, strong, talented, educated, awesome people
Yeah.
who have ended up in extreme difficulty from these practices and such a wide range. And very commonly, no mental health history or any pre diagnoses, sometimes for sure. And a lot of people coming from the new apps and coming quick. People that have had no meditation experience doing the 28-day Sam Harris waking up thing. So many people I meet every week who have had massive disorienting shifts in their
Yeah.
sense of self, who have had no exposure. So
Yeah.
it's pretty wild. It's hello, this is a wake up call. We're seeing multiple people a week coming from your app.
Wake up, Sam.
Yeah, exactly. To his credit, he does have references to us. And so I do respect that. I do see people every week coming from the modern applications on this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to see such a high volume and people who have no history and then dedicate just a month to it,
Yeah.
ending up in such distress. Yeah, it's really rough. And yeah, so I think what you were just saying about how where actually a lot of people end up from these practices is very different from what we need in our culture of being an individual, having your own desires and abilities to communicate them and have boundaries, and
Yeah.
a certain level of productive is necessary in the US. And it's difficult, these apps and the dissemination of ego death to the masses without proper disclaimer. I think it's wreaking havoc. And at Cheetah House and what in my own life, getting back in touch with my values, why did I start this practice and
Yeah.
where have I ended up has been so important to me because I personally started for very simple reasons. I just wanted a way to calm my nervous system and I wanted to feel more connected to my life and other people. Yeah. And then 10 years later, my nervous system is absolutely on the fritz, cycling between panic, fear, and then a week of the most deep nihilism, or not, sorry, not anhedonia, no feeling at all. And then being literally unable to connect to anyone. So I personally, that's what I learned from Cheetah House was to reflect back. What were my values? Where did I end up? Where am
Yeah.
I wanting to go? And just getting the message out that people have diverse reactions to these practices. But I am
Yeah.
trying to at least represent the people that are doing these practices correctly and ending up very distressed.
Yeah. It sounds like and I'm pretty sure Cheetah House too, is we're not saying that there's no benefits to it.
No.
And we wouldn't have been involved with it for so long that it's really like the crux of it for me is a double-edged sword. Something that can help you immensely can also hurt you. Again, it's like the both and.
Yes, which I
And
love. Yeah.
so I think like the point, and I hope with the conversations that I'm having that it is about bringing the balance in. But from our perspective, because we've experienced it and we've put in God knows how long in trying to understand it and educate ourselves about it, not to deny the fact that there are benefits and immensely positive, profound experiences that you can have with these types of
Mhm.
practices. But people like us need and are offering an emphasis on what's missing in the conversation, which is the undisclosed adverse effects, how prevalent they are, how serious they are. Because there's so much access to the glorified, positive, glowing reviews of losing your sense of self, we've got enough access to that. But the price of underestimating the adverse is too high. And I think we know that now, especially when you work with people who research this. I think with mindfulness, a lot more people don't experience really bad adverse effects than people that do. But when it gets more into ego
Mhm.
death and ego dissolution, I think it's par for the course. If you go down those
Yeah.
in a hardcore way, you're going to hit some of this stuff. It was going to get there at some point, but I want more people to be aware of Cheetah House because it's awesome. The website says support for meditators in distress. What you're doing, people really should know about because I think part of the audience that we're speaking to are people who we do want them to know that they're not alone. And I imagine that it's a pretty high number of people that contact the Cheetah House in distress.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot,
Yeah.
and we being a small nonprofit, and being a peer support organization means that a lot of us have lived experience. We do one-on-one consults, and we do a support group, and then we'll do workshops and things on, like, rebuilding yourself. I am so lucky in that I found help and that I've been given a chance to turn all that difficulty into it's a silver lining that I can help people. Like, I'm someone that kinda hates silver linings because I think it just whitewashes your
Love silver.
now that I'm past it, I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take everything I can get," but I don't think I would've wanted to go through that again. Yeah, to be able to meet people every single week, new people that have ended up here.